Spinzada and Bucky Brooks are back. Let's move to Oakland, where Antonio Brown's helmet saga appears to finally be over. The Diva receiver lost his second grievance with the league over the weekend, and his agent Drew Rosenhaus now says that the receiver has put the helmet issue behind him, adding that Brown has already received multiple endorsement offers from companies that want to build a custom helmet for AB. All right, this confirms what I believe from the AB helmet fiasco was a hoax.
It was a hoax?
A hoax.
Oh, it's ending just as the third preseason game ended.
A lot of credit for being super smart.
No, the dude just wanted to avoid training camp. Training camp just ended. The third preseason game, the one that the real players play in, just ended. And now, poof, it's over.
One, he didn't have to play that card to do this. He could have just said vet rules. Coach, what's up? You know it's AB, the guy you think is the hardest worker in our sport. Can we work on something? He didn't even play that card because he had a great case. This was not a hoax, y'all. He caught the NFL with their pants down. But you know what happened? Initially, we destroyed the message because we didn't respect the messenger. So AB is sitting there saying something like, hold on, this NFL has a rule that gives a transitional year to a helmet. So for that 1 year, they'll allow you to be out there with hazard?
They did that?
That's what your pants down. Like, wait a minute, if we got brain issues and this helmet is supposed to be safer, why not immediately we have to convert? Who gives a year of potential brain damage?
Trying to avoid guys like AB.
Okay, all I'm saying is the unintended consequences, which are actually positive in this case, were the sponsorship, were the loss of practicing in training camp. But that wasn't the initial intent. The initial intent was sincere to his heart, and he had a great case, but no one was listening to him. Plus,
he lost both grievances.
Who is involved with both grievances? Like, hey, I got a problem with you, Whitlock, but you know what? I want you to make sure that I don't have a problem with you. Can you rule in my favor? It's not going to happen. It's almost impossible to win these cases. He knew this, but he still had a great case.
I mean, I just think it was a lot of just another distraction. Like, we're talking about the helmet, and the issue first came to be doing like mini camps and stuff like that. We're talking about OTAs. Like, we should have been done with this before training camp. The fact that we're talking about an old helmet, I mean, we're talking about an old helmet, like 9, 10 years old. It's not safe. Like, I just can't understand why you'd be that attached to your helmet when you can have better technology, stuff that really protects you if you're really about playing this game for a long time.
It's a hoax.
It don't. No, the new helmets don't look good. They big. I feel him on that. It's when you know this.
Are we really tied to the way?
You in college, you got to wear knee pads, and thigh pads. You get to the league.
Oh, I mean, take all that off.
Bucky ain't got knee and thigh pads.
It's
gonna slow me down. I'm taking them off.
Yep.
It really is not slowing you. Them helmets look big. They look heavy, and you like, I want to stay with my helmet because if first ball I drop. Win a new helmet. It's the helmet. I couldn't pick the ball up quick enough. And so you're going to make every excuse. So I get that point.
Yeah.
Now, the hoax, we giving him a lot of credit.
Say it.
Why?
That's a lot of thought. Now, is the positive that comes from
you
this?
got kids.
Messenger.
Man,
You got kids.
if
And
they
when
that
they want
smart,
to, and when they want to get out of something, do they not come up with some elaborate schemes?
man, this was elaborate like.
I mean, this is a long...
He ain't got to be no smarter than your kids. They come up with elaborate schemes to get out of stuff.
Well, speaking of your kids, they have security blankets. Speaking of adults, we also have security blankets. I can't go to Wally's with you without you saying my table. I'm like, Whitlock, this one open though. No, that's my table.
I want my table.
I want my table because it works for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, AB got to be a hoaxer and have this elaborate plan just because he got a security blanket. And it's only 3 things that are part of your equipment that matters. Your helmet, your shoulder pads, and your cleats.
That's it.
Everything else, we trying to run track out there. We'll go out there in tank top and tights if you let us. So stop acting like this wasn't something of merit. He just is not the proper messenger because of likability, and people don't think he's deep enough. But he had a great case. It's just bad timing at most.
I listen to virtually anybody that has more than 3 years in the NFL thinks, I don't need training camp. I mean, my God, training camp's a waste. Preseason's a waste. But why isn't it obvious that that is the narrative?
They're going to take care of him anyway.
Right.
They're going to take care of him anyway, whether, number one, they needed him. They need him during the regular season. They're not going to risk him getting hurt. They're going to take care of him anyway.
You think John Gruden didn't want AB on the practice field during training camp?
Practice field, I'm sure AB wanted to practice.
Why would you think
You see them workouts?
No, he works.
You see the workouts?
Listen,
Did he do one to practice?
It's
No, he
going
works.
to affect his bottom line. That's targets, catches, touchdowns.
Let me give
with him not out there on that practice field.
And this will blow your mind, but it's true. I like to work out.
Oh, God.
I like to work out. I got a Stairmaster in my living room in my apartment. I like to work out. I also have a membership to Equinox. I don't go to Equinox very often because I don't like working out with other people. AB loves to work out with AB and do what AB wants to do. But when you inject a coach, a trainer, anybody else into the equation, that's when it's like, man, I want to do AB. Let me do it. And so if the Raiders would have said, AB, we've set up a whole little practice field for you over here. Do what you want to do. Come in at 3 o'clock before the team meeting. He would have been good. In a structured environment where there are other adults out there saying, AB, do this. Hey, did you do that cut right? We needed. He doesn't like that. That's what him and Big Ben got crossways about.
Hold up.
Ben called him out about a bad route. He threw a tantrum in practice and wants to walk in and out of practice. AB doesn't like structure, and if he can do something to avoid having to deal with structure and any authority figure, he's going to do it.
We just give him all this credit for this elaborate plan.
It's not elaborate.
This hoax, so to speak, and then say he's not smart enough to know. I need to get on the field with Derek Carr and form this timing, this cohesiveness, because I need Derek Carr.
Thank you.
If I don't perform, they're going to say, they're going to bring up all this.
No.
And say, you didn't practice, it was the helmet, it was the feet.
Are you kidding? What do you think AB thinks? If it doesn't work,
Oh, he think it's them, not him.
it's Derek Carr.
100%.
Check my resume. I put it down from Central Michigan to right here in the NFL. You can check my numbers all the way back to high school. So it has to be Derek Carr in his mind if this doesn't go right.
Look, I'm going to tell you this, and I want everyone to reset their minds. We know that he wasn't the only one that had a problem with this. So I understand everyone killing AB because of likability or lack of respect. But Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers had an issue as well. But they didn't follow through like AB. But you know who did have this issue and made a big stink of it? And no one's mentioning their name. Joe Staley. And Joe Staley said because of safety concerns, he switched helmets. He said, I understand why AB had a problem with it. I switched helmets, and guess what happened when I switched helmets? It slid down my face and broke my nose. Broke his nose. Then he's like, I'm going back to the old school. There are people on record who understand his exact plight. Now, put your money where your mouth is a different example of how far you want to go with this. But AB did. He put his money where his mouth is. Everyone's talking about this sponsorship makes it a hoax. He paid money for lawyers to fight a case twice just to get a helmet sponsorship? Do you know that
That helmet sponsorship ain't that.
Do you know the category of helmet sponsorships? You know that cash cow that doesn't exist in the category of helmet sponsorships? Come on, Whitlock. You know.
AB has made $70, $80 million. He don't mind blowing $50,000
In the club, but not for the lawyers. In the club.
To miss all of training camp. It was worth it to him.
He could have missed it without paying it. Gruden is bored, man. Come on,
Gruden, how many times has Gruden got to say we need AB out here? We want AB out here. We want to work on timing. I got a bunch of plays I drew up for Santa Claus. I want him to run. How many times you got to say that?
Rules, man. I get it. I get that part. That's
all right. Coming up, the impossible has happened. Dwight Howard is back with the Lakers. We'll tell you how, at long last, he returns. Darnell's question of the day. Nerds!